Hi, Scary. Hey,
Hi, nice to
buddy.
meet you. Hey, buddy.
Nice to meet you. So I'm so excited for the new season of Saved by the Bell. Last season, we saw Daisy stage a very successful walkout at Bayside. So what can the fans expect this season?
This season, Daisy is, I feel like she's always planning something. So there's always something that she feels like she has to do for Bayside to help Bayside at the end of the day. But you also see her explore her first crush, try to find out, how to balance, home life, school, friendship with also her crush at the same time. And, still working towards her future. So you kind of see Daisy as a normal teen in high school, just experiencing all these different things and getting pulled in so many different directions, which is so funny and so fun to watch.
Yeah, so speaking of that crush, I loved your chemistry with Matthew Sato, who plays Gil. And then I loved your moments with Josie and Lexi's office. And then I also loved the Aisha Daisy moments, especially one very moving scene in the locker room without spoiling anything. And then the two of you kind of gang up on Dexter Darden, speaking about the inequalities the Black women face. So tell me about some of your favorite scenes to shoot or moments on set.
Yeah, I would definitely have to say the scene with Alicia in the locker room. I think that speaks on the friendship that Daisy and Aisha have, that no matter what's going on in their world or in their life, they know that they can always come back to each other and rely on each other. So I think that's a really wholesome moment. Another thing I loved, which was like almost a workout in a sense, was when me and Mitchell had to do the dance and also
Yes.
say our lines. Because
Yes.
halfway through our lines, we were like so out of breath, and we're like, "Wow, this is insane!" Like we don't know how people do this all the time. But I think that was so fun because at one point we were just like marching. We're like, we're not even listening to the cha cha. Like we need to like get into this moment. So that was really fun to watch. That was one of my fun moments on set.
And then you get to have a kiss without spoiling anything. Was it
Uh,
your first on-screen kiss?
no, it wasn't. I think my first on-screen kiss, I was like 16 or something. And they cut it out. Like, I don't know. They just
No.
I was like so nervous and I pulled through and then I sat on my couch ready to watch it. And I told everybody, okay, I'm gonna kiss. You guys are gonna see it. And then credits roll at the end of the whole episode. And I'm like, oh, so they cut it out. Cool, cool, cool. So this was not my first on-screen kiss.
Oh, no. Well, it made it in, so that's
Yeah.
good. So there's been such an outpouring of love for the show, for the positive representation on the show, for your performance as Daisy, of course. So tell me about some of the fan reactions that really stayed with you.
To this day, which is super lovely, I get a lot of comments or direct message from young Latina girls who are always telling me, I feel seen. I could relate to Daisy's character so much. They're like, I am Daisy. That is my life. Like, and I think it's so beautiful to just hear all these words from these young girls because I was once in their shoes trying to find someone to look up to or find a character that could be relatable on screen. So for me to be that person to them, it truly means a lot. And I can't wait to keep on with Daisy's life or story, but also take on more roles that also can inspire more people. So that's literally my end goal.
Have you heard anything about season 3? Would you want to do a season 3?
Of course. I think there's still so much to all these characters that I want to keep exploring. So I'm hopeful for a season 3. I'm hopeful for a season 4. Like I'm just trying to get as many out as I can. So hopefully we have a long run just like the original because they were set. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I spoke to Belmont last season, he was saying that Elizabeth Berkley was such a role model to him, that she gave him so much advice and he loved having her on set. So who have been some role models to you, whether on this set or in the industry?
Some role models for I feel like on this set would definitely be Elizabeth. I mean, I came to LA and I didn't know anyone. Like I did not know one person. So I expressed that to her at the first table read and she gave me her cell and she was like, if you need anything, I do not care what time it is, you call me, I'll be right there. I remember one time the apartment I was living in, the lights went out for like 2 whole hours. And I was like, maybe I should text her. Maybe I should text her. And I'm like walking around with a candle and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to text her. I ended up texting her and she was like, do you want me to put you up in a hotel? Do you want to like, I'll pick you up. So it was just really comforting to know that I had someone who was willing to go out their way to kind of help me, knowing that it was my, first time on a series regular show, but also my first time in LA. And it was really, really lovely. And someone else in the industry, I have so many. Julia Grob, who writes for Mr. Iglesias on Netflix. She was my theater teacher back in New York when I was like in high school. Yeah, and now she writes on the show for Netflix, which is super amazing. Like it's just kind of like full circle moment how we were both in New York and now we're both in LA. Gina Rodriguez is someone I look up to. Jennifer Lopez is someone I look up to. Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of Netflix, you're on Peacock. What have you been watching lately that you've been really into?
Never Have I Ever. That show is so good. It's funny because I feel like Never Have I Ever and Saved by the Bell, they can come into one world together. We can do like a cross episode and I think it would work. So I don't know if there's any writers out there or anyone attached to these projects, but y'all need to maybe make that happen. I think that'll be so cool. It's a TV show, it's in high school, and I'm like, we all experience kind of the same thing. So I think that'll be really fun to watch. What other shows? Queen of the South, I watch. I watched You. Like I just binge a bunch of shows. I watch Survivor. Like nobody ever watches that anymore, but I'm like, I'm a true Survivor fan. Like that's what I just watch.
No shame.
Yeah.
So I have to ask, how was the football game?
It was fun. We had someone escort us to like the VIP suite. That's so different for me. Like I'm not used to that kind of stuff. So I was like, okay, this is cool. And you get to see the players up close and personal. Like these dudes are so tall, it's insane. Like, I'm used to seeing them from like all the way up in the bleachers. And now I'm like literally breathing distance from them. So it's kind of freaky. But my boyfriend was a Division I football player. So it was really kind of fun to, he tells me a lot of what's happening all the time. Like now I feel like I'm good. If I go to a game by myself, I can understand it. But he taught me a lot of football and into that sports.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for your art, Iskiri. Thank you for your time. Thank you for Daisy. Have an amazing day. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.